Dolittle 3D. This was a movie that came out a few years ago with Robert Downey Jr. The movie itself, it's acceptable. It's fun family film, the usual. Talking animals with attitude, sort of redemption arc for the hero, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for squirrels. The usual. And of course, as a bug lover, I didn't mind the attention given to the walking sticks and the dragonflies. So anyway, this was released on Blu-ray 3D exclusively by Random Space Media from Australia that shut down last year. So anyway, how was the 3D? Is it worth it? Well, most 3D fans with most movies will tell you, of course, the 3D is worth it. After all, this was a relatively recent conversion, and conversions have gotten really good. That's usually a given for the most part, with rare exceptions, such as the latest two Jurassic World movies. So anyway, the 3D in Dolittle, it was solid, medium strength 3D. But by and large, I would say it felt like it was just your usual by rote add-on to check that box. For instance, a lot of the shots just weren't framed for 3D. It wasn't made with 3D in mind or anything like that. For instance, some shots were made where it had no choice but to be either a window violation or avoid a pop-out. And otherwise what could have easily been a pop-out scene. Even shots where it could have been a great pop-out, such as this one of the telescope, as you can see, it's not much past the front of the screen. Also, the subtitles on the disc, usually movies will have the subtitles dynamically placed to adapt to the parallax in the film. So for instance, if something is in front of the screen, the words will be in front of the screen just a little bit farther so they don't conflict with the imagery. But in this case, the subtitles were flat at the z-axis, zero parallax, so they would just blend into whatever was beyond the screen. And depending on the severity of that, it could be jarring. Also, the beginning and end, it starts off with 2D-esque animation, and they just didn't even bother to make that in 3D, although it could have easily been because it's all done on computers nowadays. But this just was 100% flat, not converted. And even the shots that you would think would have looked made for 3D just wasn't. And then again, at the end, they ended off with paintings during the credits, finishing the story, and also they just reverted to flat for that and didn't pursue it after that. But otherwise, during the body of the movie, all the live action shots, all the CGI animals, it was good as conversion as you will usually get nowadays for the most part. Solid, medium to strong 3D. Sometimes the 3D was adjusted based on the camera's distance to the subjects, which is something we've often seen in Avatar especially, which is mindful of real 3D in real life. So it's like a realistic 3D basically, a little more distant for a little more shallow for distant shots, and then stronger when you get closer up in the same scene. And also fluid adjustments, like from the zooming in shot from a distance and zooming in, and the depth gets stronger as you go in, zooming into this wall on the castle. That was done very well in 3D. And also little things like the parrot. There's a number of shots of that parrot flying, and with the bright colors, especially in the daylight scenes, just popping out in front of the screen. That is eye candy. So yeah, of course, this is the ideal way to see Dolittle. Even this, so far, isn't going for as much as other titles that Random Space Media have sold, even though it is out of print. But if you want to have a fun 3D movie to watch with your kids that's fairly inoffensive and has pretty 3D visuals that they should enjoy, you can check this out. See you next time.